When you understand the promise, you will then begin to understand the present, because the present has to always be viewed in context of the problems and the promise. Now that we have made it to the present in spite of the problems, there is now a process. Lacey, you slow down, you're missing somebody. I said we have already seen that there is a problem. However, in spite of the problem, God still has a promise. And because God still has a promise, they made it to their present. And it is in their present that they get into the process of the promise he made in spite of the problems. I got the slow church in here on today. Let me see if I can break this down. I have a problem. The problem is God made me a promise. And the thing about my promise is that in spite of my problems, I'm going to still survive in my present. And now that I'm in my present, God is going to take me through the process to get me to the promise he made me in spite of the problem. Lacey, preaching it how? Is there anybody up in here that says God did not forget about me? I'm just in a process. It just hadn't manifested yet. Everything God does, he does it through a process. So it may not come overnight, but it happened overnight. Lacey, they missed it back there. Think of you didn't see it the next day, but come here, Daniel. The moment you prayed, I sent angels to you. Now, it may have taken them 21 days to show up, but I sent them the day you prayed. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, God didn't forget about you. You're just in the process. He heard you the first time you prayed. He heard you the first time you shouted. He heard you the first time you asked him. But that's why he told us, be not weary in your well-doing. Why should you not be weary? This is a process. I'm working some things out. I'm straightening the way out. I'm opening doors before you get there. I'm opening windows before you show up. I need somebody to give God a shout and say, I ain't tripping. I'm just waiting on the process. I'm standing right here. I'm gonna be steadfast. I'm gonna be immovable. Matter of fact, can we practice real quick? Would you grab somebody by the hand and say, neighbor, we standing on the sure foundation and we will not be moved. The winds may blow and I may bend, but I promise you I will never break, because I'm in a process and God is taking me higher. Somebody shout higher. Holler like you got it higher. Say it like you got the Holy Ghost higher. Say it like you got an anointing higher. In spite of my problems, I'm going higher. In spite of my problems, I'm going to my promise, because I'm in a process and God won't let me die until he does what he told me. Find 3 people and give them high five and say, process, baby, process.